do we teach syntax? First, for reading comprehension. That infographic I showed you a little while ago has the what on the left side, that's the content, the how on the right side, the principles of instruction. By the way, you can get this infographic on the IDA website. And, again, I feel like it's taking a pretty complex concept, the science of reading. How does it relate to structured literacy? It's really important that we use these terms well, and that there is a common understanding about what we need, what we mean by them, because people are using them, but I'm not sure they're using them the way that they should be to get the points across. So the how has lots of different pedagogical principles that are important. I'm not going to talk about all of these today, but I am going to highlight explicit and sequential, because I'm going to keep coming back to these ideas throughout the rest of the morning. You all, I know, have been doing some great work on grammar and syntax in Ontario, and I was linked to a few documents and resources, and I just wanted to point this one out to you. This scope and sequence goes up through the grades. I just use this first page of the scope and sequence document to just highlight that it talks about, where are we doing this work orally? What's the syntax knowledge that we are teaching in each of these grades? So what does that look like in terms of the scope and sequence? What punctuation is taught when, and what word knowledge is taught? And these are your grammatical building blocks, as I refer to them, or parts of speech. So you have a very detailed scope and sequence, which is terrific, because the scope and sequence is what makes the instruction and the content sequential, right? If you don't have a sequence, you don't really know where you start this work and how it develops and progresses over time. Not to say that 3rd grade, 5th grade, 8th grade have mastered all this stuff before, but if we don't know, if teachers don't know what the expectations are for them for teaching this content, then it's a crapshoot for what happens. So we don't want that. We want things to happen, systematically. I also took this from something that I saw that you distributed, and I think I like all the work that Oak Hill and Kane, Elbro, Rosenshine have done. Key comprehension strategies that are mentioned that are relevant to today's talk is the sentence structure, as well as the text structure and text types, which we won't go into great detail. But again, these two are pretty inextricably linked. This is your macro structure. This is your micro structure. When Nancy Eberhardt and I wrote this book on syntax, we talked about some big ideas. So I'm going to talk about each of these as we continue to go through this content.